It's time to mind your business with me, Jamila Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Doing well.
Good.
I'm honored and glad to be here.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to the island. I know you are visiting the island for the EBA graduation, but I want to welcome you formally. And then we will be talking about who you are and why you're here, basically.
Well, thank you. Well, I do love this island. And I used to come twice a year.
Okay.
And about 25 years ago, it just sort of ended. So it's very nice to be back.
Well, welcome back. We're happy to have you. So let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
First, let's start with who are you?
Yes, Darrell Byers. And I've been the CEO of Interise for 5 years. Okay. I have 32 years of nonprofit experience working at large institutions like Harvard and Georgetown, and smaller institutions like Easter Seals and Habitat for Humanity and various public television stations, and so a lot of background in that. But also, many years ago, I used to own my own business.
Did you? Okay.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. What was it?
Yeah, so it was a filtration business, liquid and air filtration.
Okay.
So mostly for major companies, so beer companies, chemical companies, nuclear plants, or HVAC systems and things like that. Design them, put the filters in them. Yeah. And my biggest contract was with the New York City Transit Authority when I had that.
Okay, wow.
And I also know the struggles, the challenges that people have, and you know the margins you're always working on. And as I always say, I wish there was someplace like Interise around. Yeah. When I was in business.
For those that don't know, what is Interise? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so great. We've been here for the last 20 years. Well, not necessarily in Bermuda. Yeah. But we started 20 years ago, and the idea was to work with minority and women-owned businesses to help them grow. Because we know that it's really part of the community when you help minority businesses grow. And we have a curriculum called the Streetwise MBA, 5 modules, 7 months long, very intensive. And the companies that take the course, they grow up to 40%. We teach them how to get big contracts with the local government or state government or country. And it's, we have 10,000 alums of the program.
Wow. Is that all over the world?
Well, it's all the U.S.
Okay.
And Bermuda's are only, right now, Bermuda's our only international place.
Wow.
But I think we'll be starting another one in Ghana next year.
Awesome.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Awesome.
But, one thing we know about our companies when they grow, which is very important. First of all, we know that any economy is driven by small business. Yeah. So it's very important. We also know that our alums, as they grow, 50 to 100% of the people they hire are from the local community. Yeah. So when these businesses grow, they hire from the community. And for the first time, it may be, you can afford health insurance. You can afford to go back to college. Yeah. You can buy a house in your community. Yeah. So it really, really matters. And that's what's important to us. And people forget that one little part of it, that this is a community event.
Yeah. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your transition from business owner, filtration business, into the CEO of Interise. How did that go?
Yeah. First of all, I probably never imagined myself in this spot. Once I decided to close down my company, that it wasn't going to work. My margins when I started were at 40%. And the recession of the late 90s hit, the late 80s, early 90s hit. And what we found was our margins were 2%. And the big companies could afford to lower their prices. I couldn't. So it became obvious that it was time to close down my business, which I did. But I sort of fell into nonprofit by accident, by a position in public media about getting corporate sponsorship. And for the first time, it made me feel like I wasn't just bringing money in, for me or to become rich, where I felt this community connection with the money I raised. And I happened to be good at it
Okay.
by chance. And I was there for a while, then
Yeah.
decided to go work at the Harvard Graduate School of Education.
Okay.
Once again, it was education, and that's a focus because I believe education is the key to anyone improving themselves. I mean, that's what we're doing right now with the
Yeah.
Streetwise MBA.
Yeah.
It's improving your education
Yeah.
about running your business.
Absolutely.
And then, I'm not going to go through every place I've been to, but eventually ended up as vice chancellor
Okay.
of University of Massachusetts, Boston,
Oh, wow.
the most diverse university in New England,
Okay.
and where over 50% of the students who graduate are their first in their family
To go.
to go to college. And
Love
when you
that.
sit on stage and they ask, you got 3,000 people graduating, and they ask the students who are the first in their family to graduate from college, and they stand up.
So all of
The
them.
tears. I mean, everyone on stage is in tears.
Yeah.
And once again, that's why I got into fundraising. So, to make a long story short, when I was living in San Francisco, actually, a friend called me
Yeah.
who was working at Interise and said, we have this position open for CEO, and you happen to know a lot of people in Boston. So I said, well,
There you go.
describe the position to me, what you're looking for. And she finished talking. I went, you're talking to the next CEO.
Yeah.
And interviewed and really take the skills I learned in fundraising, taking the skills I learned as a business owner,
Exactly.
and really having the opportunity to bring them together
Yeah.
to help Interise.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't think of this, all the skills that you acquire as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and how they do transfer into other life situations, into other positions, and things like that. Because as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you have to do everything, right?
You have to do everything. As we say, when you're a CEO of your company, it's a very lonely job because you have the final say on every decision that goes on.
Yep.
And I remember when I was vice chancellor, there were other vice chancellors I had a chance to talk to and lean on. But as CEO, you don't. But that's something we really try to create for the CEOs who take our
Yes,
course.
absolutely.
First of all, what goes on inside the cohort, the peer-to-peer mentoring. But we also want you to connect through our platform, Interise Connect, with our 10,000 alums that have been through the program.
Yeah.
And, during COVID, we learned that people really started relying on each other.
Yeah.
The
have to.
conversation that started happening. What's working for you? What's not working for you? And what that also taught me being a business owner is how to pivot quickly.
Yep. Absolutely.
So when COVID hit, our alumni businesses contacted us. You need to help us. What are we going to do? And we created programs overnight that we delivered online
Yeah.
that helped these companies stay in business. Unfortunately, we weren't able to save everyone.
Right.
But a lot of companies pivot. And what was unique about that, some of them were doing better than they were before COVID.
That's good to hear.
Many companies that had laid off people bought them back and increased the number of employees
Right.
they had.
Yeah,
during
being
COVID.
able to pivot is very important, and to recognize that you do have to pivot, which is something a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you can get tunnel vision and you've always done something the same way for many, many years, right? But then when something happens like COVID, you do have to think outside the box and try and change your revenue model, change your business model in any way possible to survive.
And what's unique, we had to change our business model
Yeah.
at
Absolutely.
Interise. And what we learned by creating those webinars to help survive, that became an ongoing way to support.
So you still do them.
We still do. We still do
Awesome.
monthly,
Awesome.
and we take deep dives into
Yeah.
what's important to you, how to access capital, how to understand your finances, wellness, how to take care of yourself, or if you're thinking 5 to 10 years down the road, what am I going to do with my business? What do I need to do with my business? If I'm going to transfer it to someone in my family, or if I want to sell it.
Right.
We help you look at the the big picture.
Yeah.
Create a timeline, if
Exactly.
you will.
So let's dive a little bit into the partnership between BEDC and Interise. So at BEDC, we have what we call the Enterprise Bermuda Accelerator program, which uses the Streetwise MBA curriculum provided by Interise. So tell us a little bit about how that partnership started, how long it's been going on.
Sure. It's been going on since 2013.
Okay.
So
long
11
time.
years. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to say, I think only New York maybe has been that long.
Okay.
So, but Bermuda is very special to us because
Yeah.
that's one of the first programs we did, and it did it in conjunction with Bermuda College, I believe, and then that transitioned, and a couple of local banks down here, HBSC,
Yep.
supported the program, and so on, and now
We're with BEDC.
we now in BDC, and we love the partnership. We love hearing the results that come back. We
Yeah.
have a research department, and we survey our alums,
Yes.
and we see all the positive comments and the positive trends that go on with the companies that take the course here.
So what specifically about Bermuda and about BEDC attracted Interise? Like, why us?
Well, why us? Because, and this, like I said, I used to come here twice a year. So I really started, catching the culture and the flavor. And what you find is the challenges that we have in the United States
Very similar.
Occur here.
Yep.
With people of color getting,
Yep.
getting the tools they need to create a level playing field
Yep.
to play in wherever the sandbox where everyone else plays.
Right.
And we want to make sure, and
Yeah.
that's our mission,
Yeah.
to make sure that people of color have the opportunity and the chances and the tools
Yep.
to grow their business, because we know how important it is.
Exactly. How have you seen, through the alumni in the program, how have you seen it benefit some of the businesses on island versus the ones that you see in the States?
Good question. What I think it's really done for the businesses here is really open their eyes
Okay.
to what's possible.
Yep.
As you said, I think people get into this is the way we've always done it. So we've taught people, one, instead of like a business plan, you're going to develop a 3-year growth strategy.
Right.
Okay? Our intention is to help you grow. Okay, so if you don't want to grow, you shouldn't be part of the business.
Gotcha.
But because of the unique culture, which I know that many of the things that you get here are shipped
Imported,
in.
yes.
Everything's imported here.
Yep.
Everything's imported here. So what does that mean for your company? What does that mean for cost? What you're going to do for your finances, as far as really understanding your finances? How you're going to plan ahead in case inflation continues to grow and doesn't come down?
Yeah.
So, importing everything is not something that businesses in the United States have to
Worry
deal
about.
with
Exactly, they don't.
on a regular basis. And I see the prices here, whether it be gas. I was in the store last night looking at a loaf of bread,
Yeah.
and it's very important. I think
Yep.
it's almost, I don't want to say, no, I say it's almost more important. It's
Yeah.
almost more important with the costs.
It's
that's
vital to
associated.
the
It's-
success of your business.
Yes,
really.
it's vital to the success of your business that you have. You learn how to deal with those issues and aggressively overcome them.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, really, you don't want to sit back.
Yeah.
You want to be aggressive in your approach.
Yeah, and I definitely touch on something you said as well. Like, this program is a growth program, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to grow, then this is perhaps not for you. But it's also something at the BDC we want our local businesses to be thinking about, right? Because, like we said earlier, you get into the habit of things. You're running your business. It's going on for a few years, and you're at a line like this, but we want you to be going up and up and up, right? So growth is definitely important. Can you dive into that and explain why?
Well, you know what, growth is important, and I think people really get stuck in that one place.
Yeah.
I think, for example, I was speaking with my friend last night. He's talking about his son has his own business, like down hardwood floors, and the business is going great. The business is going great. I said, your son needs to take our course. Why? The business is going great, but there will be a point.
Yeah, you will plateau at some
there will
point.
be a point where the
Yep.
business is not doing so great. It's time your son prepares, think ahead.
Right.
And, you know, I can't remember the person's name, but it really was, he was trying to get companies, Clayton Christensen. Clayton Christensen. And, you know, he wanted to get companies to really start pivoting when they were doing well.
Well, that's a good
Not,
point.
not to wait.
Don't wait. Yes.
Don't wait.
Very good point.
So, you know, and speaking with the alums here, I think that's one of the things they learned.
The takeaway. Yes.
The takeaway.
Yeah.
And but I want to see that message, you know, delivered bigger, loudly
exactly.
on the island, so
Yeah,
more and more
to not
companies will come to you, take your course, and learn more.
So
and
the
keep
course
growing.
shouldn't be a reaction; it should be proaction.
It's proactive, and that's the
Yes.
thing I think we teach most is being proactive, growing your business, taking care of yourself while growing your business, and how to weather the difficult times.
Yeah.
So I think I convinced them, and you know, and it's amazing because he was
Yeah.
telling me, well, you know, my friend has this business, and I mean, really, the entrepreneurship that goes on in this island
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing.
And then some of the cost and price of living that you recognized
Mm-hmm.
as well, it sort of forces a lot of Bermudians into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
A lot of people have a full-time job, but then have their business as well and things like that. So it is definitely an ecosystem that generates business owners.
Well, you know, we found during COVID,
Yep.
the number of new businesses started, just exploded.
Yep.
And actually, now, what, we're 3-4 years down the road, I think it's in our mission to make sure those businesses continue
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah.
Not to survive, but
Yeah,
to continue to grow.
So specifically the Streetwise MBA program, what exactly can people expect from it, and what are the key takeaways from it?
Sure. You know, the thing I hear back is, you know, people are taking this program. It's hard.
Yeah?
It's it's a very hard program. So what
Okay.
you can expect is very knowledgeable instructors
Okay.
who've really been trained by Interise, work with other instructors, and they really know how to have that one-on-one relationship with all the businesses that they teach during those 7 months. Some places it's 6 months. So
Okay.
so you can expect to, even though you're working your job 60
Yeah.
hours a week,
Yeah.
that you're going to find time to carve out 3 hours every other week to attend class.
Right.
And yes, that we're going to give you homework.
Gotcha. So you have to be able to commit.
You have to be able to commit. And we interview companies in
Okay.
the beginning to make sure that they are committed
Yes.
to staying the entire 7 months,
Yep.
doing the homework, doing the in-between meetings with their colleagues,
Yeah.
with their other businesses in the cohort. We want to make sure they're fully vested
Yeah.
in what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, what we hear during the year is that, one, some of the things they learn in class and they start applying immediately start affecting their business. They're like, I'm 4 months into this and my business is already growing.
Awesome.
We bring in guest experts
Yeah.
from whatever field, whether it's being marketing, finance, accounting. We're not going to pretend the instructor knows everything. So we bring in guest experts.
Okay.
And we
awesome.
build relationships with those. Well, the businesses build relationships with
Okay,
those guest
perfect.
experts along with the businesses. What you can expect, too, is your colleagues in your cohort, they will be lifelong friends.
Yes.
And-
Absolutely.
And why did you become lifelong friends? You're bearing your soul.
Yeah.
So at one point, every business that's involved, you got to bring your books.
Yeah.
You got to show your finances to everyone in your group.
Yep.
And you are going to be fairly critiqued, but you are going to be critiqued. And people talk about how that helped them build resilience, helped them get the big picture,
Yeah.
helped them learn from what their other businesses were doing in the cohort to apply
Yeah.
to their own.
At BEDC, that is one of the things that we hear from the alumni the most, is that was one of the most valuable pieces of the program, was being able to speak with your cohort, really just getting down and dirty with them about your business and everything going on in it. Yes, it's a challenge for them to do it, especially initially, and especially here when one of the major concerns in the community is confidentiality, and people stealing ideas and all that sort of stuff. But once you get past that, we have found that the alumni really, really value that piece of the program.
And actually, down the road where alumni merge.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
Yes. And what's been great to see too is how, you may have taken the program 5 years ago, but you want to make sure that the businesses who are currently taking the program, that they're going to be successful.
Yeah.
As they move forward. So you really don't forget where you came from.
Yeah.
Once you enter the course, the Streetwise MBA, that's part of you now.
Yeah, absolutely. So are there any new initiatives or expansions planned for like the Bermuda Accelerator program?
Well, what we want to do is we really want to start getting everyone who's been through the program to start meeting on a regular basis.
Yes.
Okay. We want to have webinars eventually that, of course we have the webinars where anyone can tune into from our 10,000 alumni, but we want to be more centered on what Interise, what they're doing here in Bermuda.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because you're the only international program you have, so there's some unique challenges that we have here.
Yeah.
So, let's do webinars only about the businesses in Bermuda, and do deep dives into what the challenges they face here and what's worked here for some businesses, and make sure. I'd like to obviously increase the number of businesses here that are going through the program. Once again, speaking to my friend, and I was just like, and there's always an excuse why someone can't or shouldn't participate.
Yeah.
So I want to get the success stories out there more.
Yeah.
Whether it be on social media, word of mouth, whether it's a local newspaper, doing stories. We want to get that story out there so that it will attract more people. Because people fear the unknown.
They do. But that's one of the reasons we're doing the podcast. Hopefully that will drum up some excitement about the program as well. And we're happy to have you down in Bermuda for that too. And we are actually having the graduation of the most recent cohort, which you'll be joining us later for that as well. So we're excited to continue to have graduates, continue to have the program available as the only international people. That's exciting. Is there any unique challenges that you can share with us that you find local entrepreneurs have?
Local entrepreneurs who have been through the course.
Yes, who have been through the course.
Yes, I think, the challenge they have, some businesses, and I was just speaking to a business last week, and they were having a challenge with something, and they went back to their binder, their three-wing binder, and they took the course 5 years ago.
Okay.
And they went back to their binder, went, yep, there it goes. There's the answer right there.
Yeah.
I don't think enough businesses do that. I've seen a lot of businesses who are having challenges call the instructor they had. It might have been 10 years ago.
Right.
But
they keep those connections.
They keep the connections, but there's some businesses who don't want to make that. I don't know. They feel they already been through the course. They don't want to make that call.
Okay.
So I would encourage people to make that call.
Yeah.
Right.
How does Interise gather feedback from those who have taken the program?
Sure. We survey.
Okay.
We survey after every class. We have a research department.
Yeah.
Actually, and we're very interested in what's working, what's not, what materials seem dated, that we have to improve. Whether the instructor was good, whether whether the guest expert was good, and what really we want to make sure we capture what really worked for the businesses and where we can improve. We're not perfect, but we want to make sure whether it be the online portion, whether it be the instructor, whether it be whatever materials, we want to make sure that we're on the cutting edge of what's going on and giving that information to the businesses. And I'll say this, we have 10,000 businesses.
Yep.
Only about 3,000 businesses are launched on our platform.
Okay.
So, my goal for the next couple of years
To get up to 10.
to get up to 10. That might be hard. But no, I mean, I think it's a wasted opportunity.
Yes.
Or whenever we have a conference, we just had a major conference in Chicago.
Oh, awesome.
And there were a couple of people from BDA that came out.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful to see what went on there. But I think they learned something from the national conference. It was nice for me to be on stage with Taraji P. Henson and talk about her business and what's the challenges she faced.
Yeah.
And that's something that's universal, I think. So, once again, there's something that we all could learn from.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything else you would like to share about Interise and the Streetwise MBA program?
Our goal is to put ourselves out of business.
Yes.
Okay, that's our goal, to create a culture in every local community where every business is given the same opportunity, the same tools to grow.
Yeah.
And, the one thing I enjoy about these graduations, they are emotional.
They are, yeah.
I can't tell you how many I've cried at
No.
when I hear the stories. It's just absolutely amazing, some of the stories I hear.
Yeah.
So it's good for me to hear the impact we're having.
Yeah.
And we want to continue to have that impact as best as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And from a BEDC perspective, too, that's one of the most rewarding things, I think, is watching the businesses go from stage to stage and grow and really make a difference in our community, whether it be big or small, right? But everybody's entrepreneurial journey is different, but at the end of the day, it's always amazing to see how programs like yours, programs that the BDC put on as well, and even in our partnership, it's just awesome to see how that really does have an impact on everybody.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to tonight's graduation.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of ways to move the company down here, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on down.
We're mostly remote, so I mean, it can work.
Absolutely. We would love to have you guys, and we love having the partnership with you guys, too. For those of our listeners that are interested in the program, interested more in Interise, where can they find out more information?
Sure.
How can they get
the great thing about social media and technology, please go to interise.org. And please, if you are looking to find out more information, of course, contact you.
Yes.
But also contact someone on our staff. Email Bernard Johnson, Christina Griffiths, or Holden Pierre, and they'd be happy to get you the information that you need about what's going on and about what it takes for you to become a business that take the Streetwise MBA.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamila Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.